Welcome to another episode of Chappy Hour. My name is Chloë Chapdelaine, and I am so excited for today. Are you vaping?
Wait, should I not do that?
You can, I guess you can if you want.
Maybe I won't do it for the intro.
Welcome to another episode of Chappy Hour. My name is Chloë Chapdelaine, and I am so excited for today because we have our first male guest on the show. Welcome, Jake.
Hello.
Jake is one of my really good friends. I've been friends with him since I was 18, I'm pretty sure.
We were pretty young when we met.
Yeah, I met him at a bar, and since then he's dated some of my friends. We've been through the good and the bad. And now he has been a huge help in me making this show. He actually was helping me with audio and answering all of the questions because I did not know a lot about audio, regardless of taking a podcasting class in university before I started doing this. So thank you, Jake.
Audio is very hard. It is rocket science until you get nerdy about it.
Yeah, so
you can figure it out.
Tell us a little bit about your rocket science that you do. Like, what do you do?
I am a certified audio engineer. I'm a writer, a musician, a vocalist, all of that under my brand.
He's a singer. He made the charts on iTunes.
I went number one on the R&B charts. That is true. That's just a scam because no one uses iTunes, and I just told a few friends to buy the song, and it ended up going number one.
But
I did that, though.
Bragging rights.
Bragging rights. I did go number one.
Technically.
But yeah, I'm a musician. I did music full time for a while. Now I am back working in the film industry. I'm a boom operator and a production sound mixer. I do a bunch of stuff on set if you need me to, but everything I do for the most part is in the entertainment space, music and film.
So Jake requested a drink before we came on the show today. What was that drink that you requested?
That was a Paloma.
It was a Paloma, and I made a Chappy Hour special Paloma.
Very good.
I'll tell you what I did to make it because I've never made it before, and I think it tastes good. And it's not really a traditional Paloma, but it's a good one if you feel like making it. So I bought tequila. I just got the cheap kind because I was buying dollar store slushes to go along with it. I got a grapefruit slush from 7-Eleven, and then I bought a Fresca because that's grapefruit pop, and I also got one of those little lime squirter things. And basically it's a ounce and a half of tequila, a healthy half of a glass of grapefruit slush.
Yeah.
Fill up the top with Fresca and add a squirt of lime.
It was pretty good. I've had a couple of Palomas in my day.
Jake is 3 in already, and we haven't even started.
It's true. We ran out of ingredients, so now I'm just having Paloma tequila soda hybrids.
It's mostly tequila soda with the smallest
mostly
splash.
Tequila.
Because I told him it still has to be pink for the show because
Yeah. I couldn't say that my drink was the Paloma and then drink all of the Palomas before we start recording.
That's so true. And if you can't see me because you're listening to an audio only section right now, I'm wearing a pink jumper, that's Australian. Pink crew neck.
Wow, you're so international. You're so well traveled.
Anyways, I'm wearing a pink that matches my chair I'm sitting on today, and I'm really proud of it. It's my first time wearing it.
It is the same shade. You do blend in.
I know, same shade as my headphones. We're just super matchy today.
Very pink, very girly.
Let's get started. Cheers! Welcome to Chappy Hour. It's kind of like happy hour, but with me, Chloë Chapdelaine, where I catch up with a friend over drinks. It doesn't need to be 5 o'clock to join, so grab your favorite drink, sit back, relax, and let's get started. Cheers. We're going to dive right into the podcast with the I'll Take a Double section, and this is the part of the podcast where we talk about our life hacks.
Oh, yes.
This is something that has made your life easier, maybe something you learned that you just enjoy, and I'm going to let you start.
Okay, so I got a good one. I don't normally be on TikTok all that much, but I was told at one point a couple of months ago to check TikTok for hacks regarding flowers and stuff. And I'm like, all right, let's do that. So I found one. It's the easiest thing you can ever do. You go to the grocery store and buy the flowers, unless you want to be fancy and go somewhere else. But you go to the grocery store, buy the flowers. You get the paper bags that they have at the end because we're in Canada and we got a weird...
Like the ones they have under the counter?
Yeah, the ones they give you when you get in the groceries. You buy 2 of those. You cut them in a certain way. There's a video somewhere. We'll link it.
Okay.
And then you wrap the flowers in that. You get some yarn from the dollar store. You wrap the paper in that, and then boom, you got a nice little rustic-looking flower package for your lady friend.
That's so nice. Have you tried this?
I've tried this. It has worked wonders. We're not together anymore, but it worked wonders at the time.
Oh, no. Well, at least it worked then. I've never tried that, but I do think that's better than using the plastic that they give you.
Yeah, like if you're pulling a last-minute flower situation and you get the paper at the store, everyone knows what that looks like. It's the same every time. Every time on Valentine's Day, there's 100 dudes getting that same paper.
And that makes you stand out.
Yeah, it literally costs $1 of yarn at the dollar store and then free paper bags. And then if you have some scissors at home, cut them up, you're good to go.
That's great.
It's good.
My life hack has nothing to do with that. It's completely unrelated, but I was just traveling. I got back from Mexico at like midnight last night, and so I'm running on very little sleep. I'll just give you a little heads up for this podcast. If I say anything delusional, it's because I am sleep deprived. But I was so frustrated in the airport. When's the last time you flew?
October. I went to Chicago.
Okay. Did you ever have an experience where you get to the front of the security line and they're like asking you to take off your shoes and take off your coat and take off your headphones and unpack your bag and take out your laptop and everything, and you're like so stressed?
Yeah, I get random checked every time because usually I end up flying with a bushy beard and they mistake me for certain things.
Oh, no.
Yeah.
That's no good at all. I get checked anyways, and I'm like, I don't look like that at all. I'm like a normal-looking girl.
That's the thing. Sometimes they pick the most normal-looking girls to smuggle all the crack.
Well, I'm not
looking.
smuggling any crack, but I always get searched. Every single time I get searched.
Every time?
Yeah, pretty much every single time.
You're just a sketchy girl.
I guess I am. I'm not sketchy, but that's not my life hack. My life hack is to pack your bag in a way that... Sorry, I'm really passionate about this. I'm like yelling into my mic.
Into it.
Pack your bag in a way that makes it so when you get to the front of the security line, you can pull out the stuff that needs to go out. So if you have liquids in your bag, do not put them in the very bottom of your bag if you're about to go through the security line. And if you are wearing shoes, maybe don't wear your tie-up shoes that are going to take you 6 years to untie them. Like Converse, for example. Converse are not good airport shoes. Wear shoes that you can just slide off and put back on.
Always.
Because I was in a line. There were 2 lines. Literally, I was waiting for like this family that maybe it's their first time. I should be a little empathetic. Maybe it was their first time traveling. Maybe they didn't know. But they took so long at the front of the line that like I swear like 40 people went through the other line. And we were just standing there like waiting for them to take their shoes off.
I'd be pissed.
Yeah, I was. That's why I'm like angry right now. Anyways, that's my life hack. So if you have liquids, put them at the top of your bag. Maybe wear your comfy shoes that you can slip off. And if you have a laptop, don't bury it at the bottom of your luggage. Just be a normal person and put it in the laptop sleeve.
I got something to add to that. If you're bringing back a very large crystal because you're interested in some type of crystal girly, 100% of the time, you're going to be random searched. They're going to pull it to the side because it just looks like some weird stuff in the register. Anytime you bring a big crystal back. I had a flight canceled right as I was about to get on flight. Twice in the same day I had to get pulled aside and explain this massive white crystal.
Why did you have a crystal?
Because I was trying to impress a girl.
Did you buy it for her?
I acquired it for her.
Oh, okay. I'm not gonna ask questions about that, but it was like a rock crystal. It wasn't.
I had a family member who had like a massive chunk, and then they chopped it with an axe into smaller chunks.
Okay.
And I got one of the chunks, and I was bringing it back to her.
Well, that's really nice.
Yeah.
That's really sweet.
Yeah.
I always get searched, and I think it's because I think I have a bomb in my bag because I travel with like 4 cameras, a drone, like a million wires, a laptop, an iPad, and I'm pretty sure in the scanner it just looks real sketch.
Yeah, bundle of wires. Yeah,
that's actually probably why I get searched every time. It's because it looks like I have a bomb. Actually, one time I was in Berlin. No, this is crazy. I was in Berlin and there was like hundreds of cop cars that started driving past us with their lights on. There were helicopters in the sky. I actually have a video of it because we were like, what is going on? When I say hundreds, like I'm not being dramatic. There were hundreds, like line after line. And they were like SWAT teams. And they were going to the airport and we were like, what is going on at the Berlin airport? Like something made the news. Guess what happened?
What?
Somebody was going through security and they had a sex toy in their luggage and they thought it was a bomb because it was like some weird electric. It was like, it made the news because everybody was searching it up, but they called in like the SWAT team and had to shut down the airport because of it. Can you imagine how embarrassing that would be?
Oh, that's a good story to have, though. I shut down an airport because I get freaky.
Yeah, I mean, that's so bad. But anyways, we're going to move into the next section, which is the daily special. And that is what's trending right now, what we're seeing, and our thoughts on it. And kind of in relation to like travel and bags and stuff like that, one trend I've been seeing that's really popular, especially among women, but all types of people, belt bags, which is basically a fanny pack. I think belt bag is just like the rebranded name.
I think they're a little different. Fanny pack got that shape, got that classic big kind of shape.
Okay.
And then the belt bag, they're usually smaller Lululemon type of vibes.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? They're like
yeah,
square.
they don't have that.
They don't
like,
have that weird.
Like the 70s,
you know,
80s.
It's like shaped like the Superman logo. It's like bop, 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 the diamond kind of. You know what I'm saying?
I know exactly.
That's
a good
pack.
description.
You know what I'm talking
about. Yeah, I know exactly what you're talking about.
Yeah, I know what you're saying. They are kind of a bringing it back again type of vibe.
But why would you call it a belt bag if you're still wearing it crossbody?
Because you're a lame.
Okay. What is your opinion on this trend, though? Because basically, I have seen videos of people talking about how they have no interest anymore in designer handbags. Like, they're like, don't get me Louis Vuitton, get me Lululemon. Like, the most basic, or get me the Uniqlo Half Moon bag, which I have. I love it. I see the hype in a lot of ways. But what are your thoughts?
I mean, you got to point me to those girls, because the girls that I like expensive purses and have never once asked me for a Lululemon belt bag.
Okay.
But like I've been seeing them out there, you know. I mean, do your thing.
Do you think it's stylish?
I think it's a sporty look.
Okay.
If you're rocking an all Lululemon type of fit and you're walking through the mall and you're between the ages of 16 and 22, sure, that's a vibe. But I mean, like, you know, if I'm envisioning a beautiful woman walking down the street,
she's not wearing a belt
no,
bag.
she ain't wearing a belt bag. She's holding a nice purse.
Okay, what about like at a bar? If you
like
saw
at a bar?
Yeah.
I mean, like, realistically, I don't care at the end of the day. If you got a big butt, you got a big butt. I don't care what purse you're holding. But like, I think that it's just something to hold stuff in. I don't think they're stylish.
Like, do you think that this trend needs to die? Do you think that you're just neutral? Where do you stand?
I think that who cares?
Who cares?
Yeah, I don't care. It's another fanny pack rebranding that's coming back. Comes back. It stopped after the 90s for like 15 years, and now it comes back every 3 years in a new iteration.
That's really true.
It's
I
true.
like it. I'm a fan of the trend. I have the Uniqlo bag, and I love it just because it's like really, it zips up in a way that holds more than, to me, a designer purse would, because it's like more malleable and soft.
Oh, really?
And so you can like stuff it really full.
I didn't even think that it'd fit things more efficiently.
Oh, it does.
Because I like efficiency.
That's one thing for me, is it fits so much. And
interesting.
There's less of a fear for me when I'm carrying it of getting it dirty, wrecking it. Like,
oh, true, because it's just on you. You don't have to put it down when you're doing something.
Yeah,
right,
and it's like, and if I spill on it, so what? You know, like,
I get it. I'm not against it.
Okay.
I just, I have not had a girl ask me to buy one of those. It'd probably be refreshing. In fact, I'm changing my stance, actually. No more Gucci bags. We're doing Lululemon square things.
Jake is looking for a belt bag girl.
Yeah, I'm looking for a belt bag girly, so I don't go broke.
Okay, another trend that I've been seeing, and this has less to do with women, but more to do with men. Okay. Hair transplants. Mm-hmm. That's been everywhere. I've seen so many people talking about it lately. And you have a good head of hair.
I'm all right. Thankfully, I'm blessed. But I have plenty of friends, my age, younger, older, that have, I mean, that are basically bald even at this point. No, not that I've done it.
They're just bald.
No, my friends are starving artists. No one's got money for hair transplants.
Okay.
But I mean, like, the most manly man dude in the whole world, Chris Bumstead, you know, Mr. Olympia, classic physique, the only important category. He just went to, I'm pretty sure he did the classic and went to Turkey. And he, at the top of his game, won, I think, the last like 5 Olympias in a row. Top of his game, he's taking 2 months off of training just to go and get these transplants. And this guy hasn't taken more than 2 days off in something like 20 years, like 15 years, something like that. He's taking 2 months off to be able to do that. And that's wild. I know that bodybuilding is aesthetics, but it's a sport. And to take away from potentially you winning the next year at your sport just to look better, it's clearly like people care about it.
So do you think that he's taking the time off because that's recovery time and he's like needing his hair to grow in properly and he's in pain? Or do you think it's because he doesn't want people to see him because he cares about aesthetics with this like awkward hair transplant phase where it's like scabby and stuff?
Totally fair question. He has been posting like what he looks like with it.
Oh, really?
Could care less about people seeing it. It's actually, I guess, you're not supposed to work out for a few weeks after.
Oh, like the sweat affect it?
Yeah, it can't. It's the same as like tattoos. It just won't take as well if you're working out and raising your body temperature soon after. So he's taking the 2 months so that it fully takes, and all of those follicles set in his head.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
So if you got to a point where you were balding and you had the money, would you do a hair transplant?
I've never had to think about that because I've always had a good hairline. If I always say, as a man, you have one choice when you go bald. It's get jacked. If you're jacked, no one cares if you're bald. Some of the best sportsmen of all time, Michael Jordan, Kobe Bryant, all bald dudes. But if you're in shape, no one's gonna care that you're bald. No one likes a fat bald guy. You know what I'm saying?
Don't say that. There are lots of people
lots of people like fat bald guys. But I think when you're jacked and bald, it's like a look. You know what I'm saying?
It is a look.
It's
for
like
sure.
a
It's like
look.
the Dwayne the Rock Johnson.
Yeah, exactly. Like
nobody
those guys,
ever
they have
judges him for not having hair.
No one calls him baldy. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Yeah, because a man takes care of his body.
That's a really interesting take.
Yeah.
I have a question for you, and you probably don't know the answer, but if you don't know what a hair transplant is, it's where if a man is starting to go bald, they take some of the hair from like the back of his head or like a spot where he's got a little bit more hair, and they take out the follicles, being really careful to preserve the root, and they basically, in a way, inject it kind of in the areas that your hair is now gone, so that it takes into your skin and starts growing like normal hair. And so you're able to basically restore hair in hair loss areas. But a question I have is these men who are getting hair transplants where they're taking it from the back and they're moving it to the front where their hairline is now receding, what happens once he keeps balding but that front hair takes? Is he gonna get like a round, like is he just gonna have hair along the front strip of his head?
Yes.
Yeah.
That is a thing, and I have heard of dudes that they get the initial one and then their real hairline does keep balding and they have to go in and get more added. So basically how it works, like payment wise, you pay per follicle. It's something like $50 or like $25 like per hair or something like that goes in. So these guys, they go back, they'll get like just the small little section there and they'll only have to pay like $700 or something like that.
But then you have to keep up with it as you continue to bald naturally.
If you continue going bald, you got to keep going. But I mean, it's it's not. I mean,
that women do all different sorts of beauty treatments.
I was gonna say
tons of different beauty treatments.
I was gonna say, so, not that far different from Botox. You got to keep that shit up. If that's the route you want to go towards, you have to keep it up.
Yeah, that's really interesting. To go along with permanent body changes, I have seen a lot of people talking about getting couples tattoos lately. I think it's something that's really trending right now. Not even just couples tattoos, like friend tattoos, matching tattoos in general. It's really blowing up because I think tattoos are getting a lot more popular. Like, for example, when I was just in Mexico, all of the girls were like, let's go get matching tattoos. Like, it's the thing. What is your take on couples tattoos, though? Because you are somebody who has a ton of tattoos, and me, I don't know if you can see me because I'm fully covered up, but I don't have a single tattoo.
You don't have any?
None.
Really?
I've given tattoos, but I don't have tattoos.
Wait, you've given tattoos? Wait,
yeah,
I've been there
Hamish.
while you... Wasn't I there?
This one's my gun. Hamish bought me a gun.
Oh,
and so I've given him a few.
Oh my God, I remember that. That's right.
And I got my safety certification training through.
Oh, you did?
Yeah, I did.
No chance.
So if I were to ever tattoo you, I won't give you a blood-borne disease.
Okay.
Yeah, I'll clean the equipment properly.
Thank you.
Yeah, but
I did get infected from one of the ones she
did?
gave me. Oh yeah, it was real bad. Oh yeah, it was tough. But I survived.
That's good. I'm happy to hear that.
Anywho, couple tattoos.
Yeah.
First of all, each other's names, never. That's the most bad omen, bad luck shit ever. If maybe get your kids' names, maybe a parent.
I would do a kid's name.
Yeah, I mean, not even maybe. I'd do kids' name, but partner, I don't know. I like the idea, maybe tattoo a wedding ring, something like that.
That's cute.
Get an if you want to do something that's similar in vibe, that you both like palm trees, you both get a palm tree.
Yeah.
Not against it. To be fair, anytime anyone breaks up, that thing becomes, I mean, I was going to say bad, but funny in my situation. I got Funky tatted right here. That was one of my first ones. And then...
So you got that completely on your own?
I got this on my own because Funky is just my brand name. Funky Uncle, Funky Productions, Funky Fest, everything.
This is him telling you go follow him on social media?
At the Funky Uncle, THA. And the most recent girl that I was in a relationship with wanted to get a matching one with me. And I was like, I'll just get Funky on you. And she got Funky tatted on her. Massive. Way too big for just the word funky.
Oh, no.
And then we broke up, and now she has my brand name tatted on her forever.
Basically name tattoos.
Because that's pretty close. Funky's literally like, that's my brand. Like, you don't even see my name on Instagram. You see the Funky Uncle.
That's pretty bad.
Hilarious.
Do you think it's funny, or is it like embarrassing to you, or how do you feel about it?
I think it's funny.
Okay.
Because she's got to deal with that, and I got this before I met her, and Funky means things to me that have nothing to do with her.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But like, I would have hated to have gotten firefighter tatted on me or something like that. Look at that. Like, eesh.
Do you think you get it removed?
I don't know. Maybe covered. You know, I've dated people that had tattoos of other relationships' names on them, and they just had it on them. They didn't even care. They're like, whatever. A lot of people that have tattoos, they just don't care about their tattoos after a certain point. They're like, it's on me. I don't care.
That's true. Yeah. Especially when you have a lot of them.
Yeah. You lose count. I have no clue how many I have on me. Yeah. And I don't even have that many. I know people that are head to toe covered.
Pretty much everybody I know right now who has a tattoo will talk about their tattoos and be like, I hate this one, but it's funny. You know?
For real.
I feel like that's become really normalized. I feel like people used to, with tattoos, be at a point where they're like, I don't want to get a tattoo because, like, what if I regret it?
Yeah.
But now I feel like so many people have tattoos that they regret, that it's not like this big scary thing anymore.
No,
it's just
not.
Part of life. Everybody's gone through an experience like that.
At this point, most people have a bad tattoo. And it's like, who cares? I didn't get tattoos until I was 22 or something.
Oh, really? You waited?
Yeah, no, I didn't get tattoos until I started dating a tattoo artist.
Oh, I didn't realize that.
Yeah, literally. She gave me, actually, every single tattoo I have is from her.
Well, they look good.
Thank you. One good thing came out of that relationship. But, that was one thing I was worried about when I was younger. I was like, if I get something I don't like the style, or I don't like this or that. And I'm glad I did wait until I was adult enough to know the things that I enjoyed in life and wanted to get tattooed on me. So image-wise, they're all right. Yeah. And I don't regret them. But, you know, who knows? I might be really against smoking at one point, and the lighter on there I might be against. But who cares? It's art on my skin. That's
true. So if a girl were to come up to you and she's like your dream girl, and she's like, I really need you to tattoo my name on you. Like, I think that this would be cute. We're going to be together forever. And you're like, man, I love this girl. Like,
but she's my dream girl?
She's your dream girl.
Oh, you know me. Yeah. I'm an idiot. When a very pretty girl that I'm,
You would do it?
And this is after telling you I'm so against that.
Yeah.
If it came down to some crazy pretty girl saying, I'm sorry, you got it tatted on you, I'd be like, fuck it.
Yeah, you're like, so what?
Depends on how big her butt is, but yes. Okay. Yeah, I would.
Okay. Yeah, that's pretty crazy. But moving into the next section of our podcast, because we are trying to be conscious of time, we are going to move into the next section of the podcast, which is On the Rocks.
Hell yeah.
And this is the drama that is happening. It's the gossip. It's the juicy stuff. It's the juicy stuff. I had to repeat that. I'm tripping over my words. It's the juicy stuff, and it's the part that people listen for. Okay? Last week was Valentine's Day. Okay? Very great day for a lot of people. Really sad day for a lot of people. But
Sucks to be them.
Is something...
I don't know.
But there's...
I'm literally single.
I saw girlfriends, but I didn't have Hamish for Valentine's Day.
Sad.
There's this company that did something on Valentine's Day that I full-heartedly disagree with. I just think it's straight up mean.
Okay.
But I'll tell you what it is. Have you ever heard of phishing emails?
Yes.
So in corporate offices, they really want their employees to be aware of these emails that could be phishing emails, I think they're called, is because sometimes links are sent that when you click the link, like it looks like it's one thing, but you're actually getting hacked by clicking a link. So don't click links in emails. That's why there are spam folders.
Yeah.
And some corporate offices are trying to monitor people who are accessing their like corporate emails by sending out fake emails to like make sure that their employees aren't going and clicking the links. So basically, if you see one of these emails that has a link and you report it, the IT nerds basically will be like, yeah, this is great. Like, good job. You reported it. If you don't, they'll just like give you a slap on the wrist and be like, don't do that again. Like that could have been a hacker. But on Valentine's Day, this one company sent out a Valentine's email that basically said, it's Valentine's Day and there's a delivery in your name that you need to sign for that is at the office. It's an edible arrangement package. You just need to sign for it, and it's at the front. So all of these people, and it went out to everybody.
Yeah.
So all of these people instantly think, oh my gosh, like my sweetheart sent me a Valentine's gift, which everybody wants to feel loved.
Totally.
And it was a phishing email that the IT planned to see who would click it. How do you feel about that?
So I've worked for multiple companies that have employed this method. Yeah. I've experienced this
I've
firsthand.
never experienced it, so I want to hear your take.
So it's usually very obvious when you have a company email. It's not your home email, so you're not getting all your other crap, your ad emails, junk crap. You're getting usually just the people from your office or whatever you're doing that are emailing you, company blast, stuff like that. And then once in a while you get some random thing that looks super out of place and you're like, oh, that's obviously a phishing. And then you click the report thing. It's annoying, but that's a thing in a lot of major companies do this. My opinion on that in general, sure, try to make your employees less stupid, whatever. What they did there, that's kind of fucked up because nothing I ever saw remotely played with anyone's emotions. Yeah. It was all like pretty obvious, like this is just a fake email, or it'd be like an email that seemed like it was from within the organization, but it'd be asking you a question about a department you didn't work in. So you're like, why are you emailing me about this? And then they'd be like, oh no, I'm talking to the right person. You'd be like, okay, clearly you didn't check. Clearly this is a fake thing. Yeah. But to literally tease your employees that someone sent them something, regardless of the fact that they'd get punished for believing it. Yeah. Just to tease them that is kind of fucked up, in my opinion,
I think it is too. Because you're literally playing off their emotions.
Yeah.
And I think that's a really good way to create a really bad work environment because you are breaking the trust of your employees. Yeah. You're teaching them to walk on eggshells.
Yeah.
They're learning that you are trying to catch them doing something wrong, that IT is constantly scrutinizing you. I just feel like it does not foster a positive work environment in any way.
No, that's messed up. Whatever company did that specifically, that's messed up. Is it corny, boring, and probably doesn't actually do anything, these fake phishing emails in the first place? Yeah, but whatever. If they want to do them, they want to do them. They're companies. They employ all sorts of dumb crap all the time,
Yeah, and there was a girl in the comments who said it gets even worse than that. Okay. Well, I don't know if it's worse, but to me it's equally as bad. She said it was her birthday, and there was a birthday e-card that the company sent her that was like, happy birthday, Lauren, like here's your birthday e-card, and she went to click and open it because she's like, oh my gosh, my company, they thought of me, it was my birthday. They waited until her birthday and it was a phishing, one of those report emails, and she got in trouble for it.
That's shitty.
That's so dirty.
To play the devil's advocate here,
okay,
it's your work email. You should never expect any kind of personal thing on a work email unless you've given your work email out for that purpose.
Okay.
So common sense wise, anything other than what's the report on this and and a file about this, anything other than that, you should know immediately that's suspicious. But not everyone has a refined common sense, if you want to put it that way.
Yeah.
So it's like you can't tease people. Like if I got that email, I would think, oh, literally nobody in my life has my work email. This is clearly phishing. Not everyone's as perceptive as some people. So I think, like they probably could have thought a little more about it. But that's fucked up as all hell from the company to do that in the first place.
Yeah, I feel like PR needs to get involved with the IT people planning these.
Yeah, no, that's like some HR shit because you're like fucking with people's emotions.
Yeah, but I want to talk about a time where maybe I should have used my common sense and I didn't. And it resulted in me being in a bad position. Okay, it actually has everything to do with this podcast. So I, like I mentioned earlier, am not an audio person by nature. Like I do photos. I learned about podcasting, but like I didn't know about mics. And so I texted Jake and like a couple of my other friends and I was like, what mic should I get? And pretty much everybody was like, get the mic that I'm using today. The
Shure SM7B.
That's the one.
That was a great voice crack on the B button.
Yeah, so I like even texted some of my friends and I was like, is this something I could get off like Facebook Marketplace? Because they're like really expensive per mic, like over $500. And so, yeah, everybody's like, absolutely. Like people toss them around because they try to be musicians and they fail. So just get it off Facebook Marketplace. So I was like, sweet. So I found somebody selling one for $400 on Facebook Marketplace. And I was like, awesome. I'm going to like try to get them down a bit. And I did. And I was feeling really good about it. And I went and bought it and brought it home. And I thought everything was fine and dandy until I had Jake over. And he's like, hey, you should like make sure that's not like a counterfeit mic, which it never, ever once occurred to me before I bought the mic that counterfeit mics exist.
Counterfeit everything.
I would never have ever thought. And by the way, if the audio is bad today, this is the reason. I will tell you the story of how I bought the mic and what led me to believe it was counterfeit and how it all went down. So I found this person on Facebook Marketplace. They did not have a user profile picture. It was a picture of a cat wearing sunglasses. Okay. And the name was, I'm going to say the name, Hendra Bagarska. Okay.
Hell yeah. Expose them.
Yep. Hendra. Okay.
Hendra.
Anyways, I was chatting with Hendra. I couldn't tell if Hendra was like a man or a woman, but on the profile it said it was a woman. So like I figured it out eventually because I was like, who am I meeting? Because I need to meet this person. And you know, internet safety, it's always good to try to like figure out who you're going to be chatting with beforehand. They didn't have any other Facebook Marketplace ads up, which when I was looking through some of the other mics that were listed, like sometimes they'd be listing like XLR cables,
exactly,
or like a cloud
yeah.
lifter or like other technical equipment. This person had no other equipment, no other ads in general listed. And I was kind of feeling some urgency to buy this mic because I was going to launch the podcast right away and I just like needed to get one. And so I messaged them and I was like, hey, I'm going to meet you. Like, can I meet you tonight? And they're like, yes, like at 11:30 p.m. I was like, awesome. So I grabbed one of my girlfriends. It was like snowing out. It was like all the way across the city, like 30 minutes. And so we went on a mission to go and get this. And this person, I was like, can I e-transfer you cash? Like, what would you prefer? They're like, cash. So I took the money out. All is good. I am looking for this person on the other side of the city. I am not familiar with this area of town. I'm driving circles and I cannot for the life of me find the address that this person sent me. I am looking and I'm like, there's no way that this house doesn't exist. It was house number 76 and there was like a 75, there was a 78, but there was no 76. And I was like, what is going on? Like the house number doesn't exist. So while we're driving circles in the middle of the night, we see these people outside who are arguing and it's like a group of men. And they're like full on like arguing on the street. And we're like, let's avoid that. That looks sketchy. So we're avoiding it. And we pull over to like try to text the Facebook Marketplace seller and be like, where are you? Like, I can't find this address. And as we are pulled over parking, this group of men approaches my van and knocks on the window. So we're like, oh, this is really sketchy. So they knock on the passenger window where my friend is because I was driving the car. And we unroll the window. And one of the men starts basically yelling at us. What are you doing here? What are you doing here? And I was like, I'm just trying to buy something off of Facebook Marketplace. Like, I'm sorry, I might be on the wrong street. I'm just like trying to find the address. And they're arguing, these men, and they're like, show me your Facebook Marketplace messages. So I'm so sketched out. I am so sketched out. I grab my phone and I'm holding it as far away as possible because I'm like, he's going to snatch my phone and run away or something. Like, I was scared. And so I'm holding up my phone like as far away as I could so he couldn't reach in the car and grab it. And I'm like, these are the messages. This is the address. And he's like, that address doesn't exist. And I'm like, I know. I'm like trying to find the person. And then this kid emerges from the back of the group and he's like, I'll explain. And so we're like, what is going on? Like, we are so confused. Like, this is just chaos. So this kid comes forward and he's like, it was me. I was the Facebook Marketplace person. The kid looks like 15. And this kid is like, it was me. Like, my parents don't let me like send people to my house because they don't want strangers coming up to the house. And so I just put in a fake address and I was going to try to meet you. And these guys came out of the house and they thought I was like going to rob the neighborhood or something. And they're just like scared. And fair enough. They probably thought this kid was loitering in their neighborhood. And I'm guessing he was racially profiled because he was black and the other people weren't. And so I'm like, this poor kid is being harassed by these people because he was waiting outside. He was doing the right thing, like trying to protect his address. So I have a lot of sympathy for the kid who's selling me the mic. So anyways, we talk the men who are arguing with the kid off the wall and we're like, we're so sorry, sir. Like, go back home. The kid is like, I promise I'll never send people to your street again. All is fine. The kid pulls the mic out of his coat. He had it like zipped into his coat. It's a sealed box. So I'm like, sweet, do you mind if I open it? Like, I just want to make sure it's not like filled with rocks or something. So I open it. Everything looks fine. Like, everything is there. It looks totally fine. So I give him the cash and I'm like, do you need a ride home? Like, are you good? Because he was clearly rattled. Like, he was shaking. And he's like, no, I'm okay. I promise. Like, it's all good. Like, I'm like trying to help this kid out. Anyways, I get home. I'm pumped. I'm so stoked. I'm just like, I can't believe I got this mic for this good of a deal. Like, I like really bargained down and I'm going to be a podcaster. And then I invite Jake over and he's like, you should maybe just like look into that. Make sure it's real. I find a YouTube video. It's a fake. I bought a fake mic. The mic that I'm speaking into right now is a counterfeit. And I'm devastated because this freaking Hendra Bagarska sold me a fake mic and I fell for it because I didn't know that counterfeit mics exist. So hopefully the sound quality is okay. But
it actually sounds not too shabby.
Yeah.
It seems like a little more high end. We might be able to fuck with that in editing. But
yeah, we might have to play with it.
Surprisingly, it sounds pretty decent. I was really worried. it was going to sound horrible. But
well, and the first time
it's a good fake.
I know. The first time we plugged it in, we didn't have a cloud lifter. And for people who don't understand audio, a cloud lifter is... You can explain this better than me.
A cloud lifter is a device that basically goes in between your microphone and your audio interface. An audio interface is what connects your microphone to your laptop, basically. It goes in between your microphone and your audio interface. And typically when you record something through a microphone, you'll get a little bit of background noise.
Like a hum?
Yeah, you'll get a bit of a hum, and then the more you increase the gain, or the volume, the more that background noise increases as well, and then it can ruin your audio. Cloud lifters allow you to increase that gain a ton. I think it's something like 20 decibels of clean gain. So that means clean volume increase with no background noise. So you'd be hearing a behind us if we did not have these cloud lifters. So
when we plugged it in initially, we didn't have the cloud lifter and I was like, oh no, it was really, really, really bad. And now I have a cloud lifter and the audio's not as bad. Like, it's way better than what it was.
It's usable, so you know what? Don't buy fakes off of people, but if you do, this one's not the worst one.
This is my word of caution to anybody who is wanting to start a podcast and you are buying your equipment secondhand. Be so cautious about what you are buying equipment-wise, because I did not know that counterfeit mics existed. Like, why would they, in my head?
You wouldn't think at first, but you also got to realize that...
Who is using the counterfeit mics? Only people trying to scam people, or do people do it to look cool?
People will buy these counterfeit mics. Like, AliExpress sells a version of every expensive mic that's out there, and it looks the same, has the same branding on it and crap, and it's just less quality and made in cheaper factories, and sometimes they're horrendous. Sometimes they actually use a lot of the same technology and end up sounding similar. But the only reason people buy them is either to resell them through a scamming situation, or they're too broke to buy a real mic.
Yeah. And this person who sold me this mic is still selling them, and I don't know if I should.
The same pictures. I see it. It pops up on my Facebook.
Yeah. So they've changed the name on Facebook a few times.
Yeah.
But I know it's the same account. It's because they're using the same photos in the ad. They sometimes will very slightly change the text, but it's the same photos.
Yeah.
And the funniest thing too is even the profile picture, I said it was a cat with sunglasses.
Yeah.
They'll use a different cat with different sunglasses.
Oh, that's so funny.
Yeah.
Oh, that's kind of funny.
It is funny.
I actually like that. It's like a murderer leaving their tag at the scene of the crime.
Literally. But I'm like, I probably can't report. Like, there's no point in doing a police report.
No, because first
like,
of all, the police won't do anything.
And they're going to be like, how do you even know for sure it's a counterfeit? Probably. Yeah, which there are ways to tell, but I don't think that they would care.
No.
So I'm just out a few $100 for this podcast. So if you just feel like giving me a 5-star review, you don't even have to pay me. That's a great way just to show me your support.
Donations help too, but please just a 5-star review.
5-star reviews, you guys. No, just kidding. You don't have to do that. If you don't like this podcast, don't leave a review.
Give an honest review.
An honest review is even better than yeah.
It's better ethically, but yes, 5-star reviews.
If you don't have a
wanted.
5-star review, don't say anything. Just kidding, you guys. I'm kidding. I hope you know that. Anyways,
she's not.
But yeah, that is a moment where I didn't use common sense. Or is that even
I would not say that's a common sense
situation? Because I do blame
situation.
myself a lot for it.
I think you tried to get a deal on something and you didn't realize that people make counterfeits of that specific product. But you got to realize that anything tech, counterfeited everywhere.
So anyways, guys, that's a part of the behind the scenes of this podcast I haven't shared before.
That was some drama.
We're going to move into the shaken, not stirred section of this podcast. Jake has a really crazy concept that he was telling me about earlier. And when he told me, I didn't even know what to think. So why don't you explain to me this situation? Yes.
So basically, over the last couple of months, I had seen this guy on the internet kind of get shared around. I knew he was some kind of millionaire at some point, and he's in his 40s or 50s or something, and he's doing whatever he can to what I thought was look young. And the reason why he got shared everywhere is because he kind of went viral for injecting his 18-year-old son's blood into his body. And so that was kind of all memed, and people were like, "Oh, this guy's a freak."
That's kind of weird.
Yeah. So I see him as a guest on one of my favorite podcasts, the Flagrant podcast, and I'm like, "All right, I'll check this episode out." And as I'm hearing this guy talking, I'm like, "Oh, this isn't a guy that cares about looking young. He's literally a guy that made hundreds of millions of dollars in a career, and in his new life after he sold his company, he's trying to solve the problem of death. He's trying to prevent death. He's trying to prevent and reverse aging. And he's doing this by investing money and using his own body and lifestyle as a guinea pig to basically test these AI algorithms.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, so he's scanning every single organ in his body using every medical treatment available and getting all of these basically ages on these things. And he's creating an algorithm that uses all of this information about your body and about your day-to-day, and it tells you to eat at a certain time, to eat certain foods, to go to sleep at certain times, basically tells you everything in your life how to do it to achieve the healthiest and happiest results. Let me pull up my phone here because I wrote down exactly what about his theory really piqued my interest. So he has these dinner parties, and he invites these, scientists, great thinkers, stuff like that, and I guess they last like 2.5 hours, and it starts and ends with the same question.
Okay.
And the middle of it is basically you keep talking about stuff and you hopefully get on the side of it, because initially when you're asked this question, your human reaction to it is, ugh, no way. So the question is, if there was an algorithm that made you the happiest and healthiest mentally, physically, and spiritually that you ever have been or could be potentially, but you had to listen to it and follow its orders completely, when to brush your teeth, when to go to sleep, when to eat. You had to listen to its orders on how to live your life. But you would guaranteed be happier than you had ever been, healthier than you had ever been in all factors of your life. Would you accept the terms of that?
That's a really good question.
Here, this is me asking you.
That's like that's really difficult for me, because I want to be able to say I'm the happiest I've ever been. I think everybody wants to feel so happy, right? Who wouldn't want that? But it's also hard for me to even comprehend the fact that I would feel happy knowing that I am just following a prescribed set of conditions.
Yeah.
Like, where is the freedom? And I feel like freedom is something that is so beautiful, as are human emotions. Like, nobody wants to get their heart broken. Nobody wants to feel grief or sadness or any of those feelings. But I also feel like there's this polarity where when you are so low, it also helps you appreciate those really nice days, and there's this really beautiful mix where you're able to have the ups and downs, and that's life. That's what brings you life. Like, being happy every single day, yes, that's amazing. And maybe it's hard for me to say that would be great, because I haven't been there. Like, I've struggled with mental health before, and so this is just me speaking from experience, but like, I feel like, I can't imagine a way that you would always feel happy, that it would just get numb. You know, it would just feel always the same.
That's a good point. And that's actually a point they didn't touch on in that podcast, is that if you are eternally happy, is that happiness? If you're always the exact same feeling? Because I know, like, I deal with a lot of horrible mental health stuff too. And feeling really good after a period of not feeling good, you feel so much better. And it's like, yeah, if you are just always at that state, does the serotonin involved? Does the chemicals in your body involved? If you're constantly at that state of euphoria, as the theory explains it to you, does it just feel numb? That's a very interesting theory.
Yeah, because I feel like it gets to a point where, does that even make you an individual anymore? Does that
I don't think you are.
Make you human, you know? Because your life is prescribed by AI. You are living the life set by AI. Where is the human experience? And so thinking about it, you know, life isn't perfect, but nobody, like I said, wants to feel those harsh emotions. But I do think that there is something poetic in having the ups and the downs and the highs and the lows and being able to feel all of that.
I agree completely. And as we are as humans of this stage, I don't think we're kind of capable of really understanding what that would feel like. As he was explaining it, it's like before they discovered germs, everything about the world was known one way, and then after they discovered germs, completely different.
Yeah.
Same thing with, you know, there's been a couple other things in history like that, where like Einstein's theory of relativity and stuff like that. Everything we thought we knew about physics, science stuff, it was completely changed after we figured a certain thing out.
Right.
So is that going to happen with AI? AI is going to be figuring out these things that completely change everything we thought we knew about the world. And so, you know, if you asked somebody, you know, 2002 or whatever, when cell phones were just getting big, do you want to have a phone in your pocket all the time?
Yeah.
You know, there'd be pushback. They're like, no, we make phone calls when we need to. But, you know, maybe 100 years from now, when this AI technology is giving everybody the best possible life they possibly could live, they're going to think back 100 years from now, like, you idiots, why would you not want to do that?
That's really true.
Right?
That's so true. It's so interesting. That really is a good topic for Shaken Not Stirred, because it's so hard to comprehend.
It's hundreds of years, potentially. AI is growing really fast and
super
developing
rapidly,
ridiculously fast.
We're already at a point where we can never reverse the amount of AI influence that we have in our life. Like,
oh my god, yeah, everything's controlled by AI, and these
from
are
now on
rudimentary.
Forward. Yeah,
rudimentary.
Yeah,
what that word compared to the stuff that's going to happen. Like, basically, you can input commands just like ChatGPT, and it creates you up to a 60-second high-definition video based off of your commands.
Really?
And the examples that I saw from this, although not perfect, are so wildly good that the stock footage industry is completely gone.
Really?
That is no stock footage photographer or whatever. That is all gone. By tomorrow, that is all gone. These 60-second videos that I saw, you could ask it to do cinematic movie trailers in 35 millimeter film of a spaceman with a red wool hat walking around a star system. And there's this man, an attractive man with skin features, wearing a woolen spaceman helmet. Or there was another scene where they had a Japanese woman walking down the streets of Tokyo, and super HD with focus on lighting and water reflection, and just this amazing scene that you would not, until you really, really looked at the details of it, you would not think that it wasn't a recorded video.
Yeah.
It is insane, and that's so releasing
crazy.
soon.
And being somebody who comes from, well, we both work in the creative industry. I do photos, you work in film. It's really mind-blowing to think of how that's going to impact the future for us creatives.
It could completely destroy a lot of the industries within what we do in the creative field.
Definitely.
My entire industry is at risk. And that I know you heard about the Hollywood strikes, all the actors and everything that did that a little bit ago.
Yeah.
A lot of what they were fighting for was they were trying to protect us against AI. AI can potentially write scripts, and in the future, right now, it can create videos. In the future, you'll be able to say, I would like there to be a new Star Wars movie with the same cast from the original one, even all the dead people, and I want it to include a feature of John Cena, and I also want Meghan Trainor to do the entire soundtrack. And it'll spit that out for you.
That's mind-blowing to me.
That's where it's heading. And the problem for my industry is, there's hundreds of people that it takes to film a movie, hundreds, thousands when it's a massive thing. And is that just going to remove all of our jobs? Is that going to take away the hundreds of thousands of filmmakers' jobs?
I don't even want to think about it.
It's scary to think about. And I'm just hoping that these AI technologies, we have legal protections against them being trademarked. One state, I believe, I can't remember which state, has already made a law saying that you can't trademark any AI-created video.
Really?
And that was a huge moment of relief for me.
Yeah, that's
so
good.
Yeah, there's a lot of freaky stuff with AI going forward. We just gotta keep informed, understand that it will affect our jobs. Everything's gonna change in the world because of AI, and we need to understand that maybe we need to learn more about AI and how we use it and
instead
embrace
of fearing
it. It's gonna happen whether we like it or not.
It's true.
It's going to happen. Electric cars are going to happen. Social media happened. All this stuff that maybe we shouldn't have had happen. It's going to happen. That's just how technology works.
Yeah, that's really crazy to think about. And I think it's something that a lot of people have been obsessing over a lot lately. But something really less scary to obsess over is the bottoms up section of my podcast.
Hell yeah.
And this is where we talk about what we are personally obsessing over and not the stuff that we're obsessing over in a way that we're fearing and we're scared we're going to lose our jobs. We're talking about the stuff that we're obsessing over because we enjoy it right now and we think it's good. So
hell yeah.
I'll let you go first. What are some things that you're obsessed over?
What did I write down?
Bottoms up, because we can't get enough of it.
What I am obsessed over lately, and everyone keeps mentioning to me too, the color beige.
Yeah.
You saw me when I walked in.
Yeah.
Beige pants, beige
everything.
jacket, beige hat. I had a beige water bottle. I don't know why.
And I'm even wearing your beige hat right now because my hair was so bad.
I brought 2 beige hat options just in case. I don't know what it is. I've usually been like not a color guy. I've worn like a lot of black. I'm not like goth or nothing, but I'm not like a big color guy or pattern guy. And then I realized, I'm like, you know what? There's only so many black T-shirts I can own. So I started cooking with beige. Got a beige jacket. Got some beige.
Once you find something that works, stick with it.
It looks good on my skin tone.
Yeah.
I don't know if it's just my skin tone. It probably looks good on a lot of people's skin tones.
I mean, it's a neutral. Everyone loves beige.
You can rock beige head to toe, and it looks great. The one thing about beige compared to other colors, I know beige is not really a color, you can mix different shades of it.
That's true. It looks good. The monochrome look.
Exactly. Yeah. Green, you have like a forest green and a lime green. It's not going to work. You do 9 different shades of beige. It all works.
Yeah. That's a good one.
I've been really into beige. Beige
is a good one. Mine has nothing to do with clothing for once, because I usually talk about the clothing I'm obsessed with. I'm obsessed with tacos. It's actually kind of funny. I don't love Canadian tacos.
That's fair.
Like the tacos you would get from Taco
Bell, Taco Time. Yeah, that's crap.
That's like
no.
Yeah, no, I'm talking like real Mexican tacos. And I just came back from Mexico and I ate tacos like almost every single day. All types of tacos.
Birria, like what are we talking?
Like what types?
Yeah.
I ate a grasshopper taco.
You had a grasshopper taco?
Yeah, it had real fried grasshoppers. And it actually was really good. It's kind of like crunchy. It was super crunchy.
Oh, food of the future, apparently.
It was really spiced well. It tasted kind of odd, but I liked it. It was like really spicy.
Interesting.
And crunchy, and it was kind of like chickpeas, like when you roast them.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
And shrimp tacos, fish tacos, beef tacos, al pastor, all of it. I had all of the tacos. So I was pretty obsessed with that. But it's really funny. Okay, I met this couple when I was in Mexico.
Okay.
And they're like, yeah, I've been living here for like a month now. But we don't like Mexican food. I was like, you're living in Mexico and you don't like Mexican food? They're like, we miss the Mexican food that we love. And I was like, what is it? Like, what do you mean? They're like, we're talking the crunchy shell ground beef tacos.
Oh my God.
Oh my goodness. Like
that's probably the whitest thing I have ever heard.
And they looked like the whitest couple you'd
Yeah,
probably ever
yeah,
see.
yeah.
But it was just like, how are you living in Mexico and you don't like Mexican food? Anyways,
That's crazy.
I mean, I shouldn't judge. Like, people have their own palates and stuff, but I just thought that
I'm
was kind
judging.
of comical.
I hate them.
Anyways, that's it. Yeah. And we're ending on a positive note.
So positive.
I know, that was so good, and we're finishing.
Got deep for a second.
I know, I was kind of mind blown, but I'm so happy for all of you guys. Thank you for listening to this episode with Jake. I'm really glad to have you on the show today, Jake. Thank you for joining me, and thank you for helping me with the audio on my show. I'm really appreciative of you.
Of course. Thanks for having me. We'll make sure the audio is phenomenal.
Yeah, so to everybody listening right now, if you enjoyed this episode, consider giving it a review. Like I said, it doesn't have to be 5 stars, but we appreciate them. It does help. And I'll see you guys next week with another episode. We forgot to do my cheers at the very beginning of the show.
We'll do a cheers now with my empty
gosh, we
drink.
have to go. Cheers!
Cheers.